I worked in the post office. I ran a post office, and I did security. I was a police officer in the Navy also. Yesterday, I was talking to a buddy of mine, which I was trying to get him to get to come to a trajectory, and he was like, "Man, if you're at 80, you just step away, you know, you can go ahead on and start your retirement." And I'm like, "Well, no." And then for some reason, I said, "Well, I had got a letter saying they had declined my shoulders and stuff." So I said, "Well, let me just go on va.gov and check, you know, and see what the letter say." And it went up to 90% yesterday. Yeah, and I was like, I logged off to log back on to make sure I was in my account. I said, "Man, I think I might have logged into somebody else's account." And it said I'm up at 90%. I'm like, "Oh man, that is major." Well, one they started connecting things because I didn't know how, like, if one thing affects the other thing, and I didn't understand that. Other individuals were telling me about, well, if you have a bad foot, then that foot affects that leg, and that leg affects your walking, and that in your back, and they were naming all these things. I was like, man, I never thought about it that way. But then when I heard them, I was like, but then it got a little bit too technical for me because I knew I was going to end up dropping the ball. Right. So I just said, once I talked to the individual and he was telling me about trajectory, I said, well, hey, you know what? I'll give him a try. And then what was even better, they were saying, if you don't get anything, we don't charge you anything. So I was like, all right, I can deal with that. I said, because I look at it like this. I can't miss what I never had. So, you know, um, I'm like, well, if you can get it for me, hey, I ain't got no problem with paying what I owe, and you know, hey, cause I mean I done went from 19 what was that 19 when I got out of service, and shit, hell I forgot now 1992. When I got out, and all the way up until now, and as a matter of fact, I have 30 years on the police department now, and I can retire anytime. But I'm like, yeah, well, shit, I don't went this long. I can trust them to bring me on to across the line.